Let's tell you what happened today. It's quite a while that I've seen these sort of operations happen. And for those who are very familiar with how they call it repo in America, when you default on paying your vehicle, the payment on your vehicle, you see them coming and taking your vehicle, even on the highway. That's what it looks like today on the streets of Abuja, when officials of the Federal Capital Territory, FCTA, sealed offices, including that of the PDP headquarters called Wadata House, the building house which houses the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja over unpaid ground and tenancy rent. The officials of the FCTA and the spokesperson to the Minister of the AFCT says the plaza owes 7.6 billion as 28 years ground rent. On Wadata Plaza being used as PDP National Secretariat, is being owed as 22 years ground rent. And that is the reason why they have gone ahead to seal the office. From there, it was some kind of embarrassment for the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the FRS, as the officials of the FCT moved from there to from the PDP headquarters to the FRS office, and that is what they did to their office, sealed it. It caused some altercations between officials of both government institutions trying to hold their ground, but it appears that the FCT officials have the upper hand in bringing home their point as to the fact that the FRS is a defaulting institution in its inability to pay ground rent, tenancy and ground rent. Some of the offices into some kind of commotion and confusion when these action of the FCT officials was taking place. From the FRS office, they didn't stop there. Even banks were affected, as Wike's men didn't hold back in ensuring that every kobo that is being owed to the Federal Capital Territory is being paid back. And so you can see how officials of the FCTA are marking the buildings of some of these institutions, including banks and several other institutions in the FCT. They didn't stop there. They went ahead to seal the office of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. Their office is located at the Wuse Zone 5 area in the nation's capital, Abuja. Several offices were sealed today, including banks and hotels, by the FCTA officials. Do it one more. Do it one more round. See. Put this one also. All right. There you have it. We'll bring you a better analysis of the action of the FCTA today and the administration of the Federal Capital Territory under Mr. Nyesom Wike, the Minister of the FCT. But let's tell you about the internal workings of the People's Democratic Party. A caucus meeting of the party has ended in Abuja. Unfortunately, the caucus meeting couldn't hold in the party's headquarters, but it held at the Bauchi State Government Lodge in Abuja. The meeting, which was earlier scheduled for 7 p.m., was rescheduled following the sealing of the party's National Secretariat by the Federal Capital Territory Administration. The acting national chairman, after the meeting ended a few minutes ago, says the meeting has now been adjourned to 10 a.m. tomorrow. And when he was asked if the PDP neck would still hold, he's silent on the question. The chairman also described the sealing of the Wadata Plaza as irresponsible and vows that the party would challenge it. The sealing of the PDP headquarters is not the only problem and the headache that the major opposition party is facing. Its internal issues are also a major crisis for it. So yesterday we brought you the story of how the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, had said he's backing out on all reconciliation effort as he's been betrayed, and according to him, he said he's pulled out of all reconciliation effort and blamed the likes of Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, for some of the issues. Let's get some insight. I'm being joined by one of the chieftains of the party, a former member of the House of Representatives of in the House of Reps, and a member of the PDP. Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf is live for us on the program tonight. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us tonight.
It's my pleasure.
How does it come to you that the Wadata office that you report to for party activities is being sealed? Your party owing ground rent? Isn't that embarrassing?
Very, very. And I never knew it would get to this level before it was paid. Been in the news for a while. It was published in the newspaper that certain institutions were owed ground rent, and the PDP secretariat happened to be one of them. And I discovered that initially there was the refusal that on the FCDA document, it is not PDP that owned that building, that was somebody from Kaduna or whatever owns the building. And I think that is where I think the leadership missed it. If the person who owns the document has not paid, the embarrassment is going to go to PDP. My name was published last year for owing ground rent. I was in the US. I immediately made sure I paid not to lose property. We are not there yet as a people as for paying fees. That's the truth. The ground rent is not, I don't think it's 7 billion naira. It's not more than 720 million naira. Ground rent is not huge. For that building, ground rent might be around 100,000 naira a year. Ground rent is not much. It's just that people are not conscious of that responsibility. And when this administration started making a noise about it, I assumed that people will. Not just like I did. I defaulted. I didn't pay after doing. When it was published last year, I rushed to pay.
But how the party, the acting national chairman, Omar Dagmaguma, said they will challenge it.
Fine. If it's going to be challenged, but I think what should be paid. Other than challenging is wasting time on litigation and what have you.
So is it also coincident that that the party is supposed to hold some high-level meetings today and the office is being...
Maybe that's where he's speaking from. You know, at that level, emotions should come in. Maybe that's why he's saying that they will challenge, thinking now. But yes, that doesn't mean we're not like it. We're not happy that the meetings cannot hold. But the truth is that other institutions were sealed today. And I'm aware that these notices were coming out since last year. Our friends outside Abuja who reached out to me to help them, make payment for theirs. So I think it is quite unfortunate that we waited for this. A lot of time Nigerians assume nothing will happen. We are used to receiving such notices, but they were consistent in issuing this notice, publishing these names of defaulters. If you remember, about 2 months ago, it came on air that PDP's secretary had been revoked. If you remember very well. And it was now that the resolution came out, it was ground range, NDIC.
The PDP headquarters is not the same as the Wadata House.
Yes.
The permanent building of the PDP. That building is as old when they started building that headquarters.
The CFO of that particular building carries PDP. But the Wadata House does not carry PDP.
Yes. So I imagine that the notice that came out was about the building.
No, both.
It was both.
Both.
Yeah.
On ground rent, this.
Does it make your party responsible if that is happening? Especially the people who run it, because how can both of the buildings that the party own as the head office in the nation's capital?
I just told you now, I conceded to you here that I equally defaulted until the notice came out. So I might not blame them initially, because these are not things that are on your table every day. You are expected to go and make that payment in your own. So there was not this awareness and consciousness until the President Minister came on board. You now say, no, we will not take this. So I expect that when that move started, we will not just pay. I could excuse the leadership for not paying before then, but with the noise everywhere, every day, about defaulters losing their plot and what have you, why would you have to wait until get to this level? So I agree that we did not handle it well.
And is it there also that leaders of the party, BOT members, came into town and meetings are supposed to be held, and they were embarrassed in that manner?
I'm surprised that the meeting, caucus meeting, is supposed to be held at the Wadata House. Caucus meetings hold at Governor's Lodge. Usually. So I'm surprised that they're even at the Wadata House. Caucus meetings hold, you can say BOT meetings at times hold the Wadata House. But caucus meetings, national caucus meetings hold, and the next meeting...
Who are the caucus members? For the sake of our viewers who are watching.
Governors,
yeah. Former
governors, former presiding officer, former presiding officers, principal of the National Assembly, some BOT members, and what have you. So they call former presidents, former vice presidents, former Senate presidents, because they're the caucus members.
So, but this happened, it appears that the Bauchi State governor has taken the responsibility of being the leader of the party. It does look to me.
He's the chairman of Governors Forum. He's the chairman of Governors Forum. So it should, naturally, I mean, with the National Assembly caucus leaders, minority naturally she should be formed on the governors. It's normal. It's not normal.
What do you make of what is happening between two former friends, allies? They were the fulcrum of the G5, which had Jensom Wike in Rivers, Sheyi Makinde in Oyo, Samuel Otom in Benue, Gwanyi in Enugu, and Ekpazu in Abia State. But I mean, the top guys in that clique are now falling out. To the point that the FCT minister is now calling out his very good friend, Sheyi Makinde, and blaming him, calling him several political names about what is going on. And he said, there is disloyalty and betrayal. And he said he's pulling out of the reconciliation mode.
I am not privy to their discussion about the crisis. But, you know, political contestations are normal. And I want Nigerians to realize that as a main opposition party, it is normal that the ruling party will be jittery about the coercion in PDP. Remember 2015 to 2019, we had the Sheriff McCarthy crisis until around 2018 before it was resolved. Remember in 2019 to 2023, we had the Secondus crisis that was resolved around 2020, late 2021 or 2022 before the convention. What am I trying to say? It is unfortunate that we are beginning to have it as a trend that before, when we are getting close to general election primaries or what have you, these things happen. However, one good thing is that it's good is happening now, that whatever needs to be resolved, you resolve on time, because we cannot afford to go into primaries next year with this kind of crisis. So it is better now.
Do you even have a party now?
Yes, we have a party. If there's no party, why you go out the conversation? Who bought that to? Have you ever seen kids coming back from school and throwing stone at a tree that without fruit? If PDP is not existing again, you will have this. People walk away. People walk away. Even those who are already out pretending to be in PDP.
People are walking away now.
Yes.
Your good friend, Dino Melaye, there is a video that's gone viral about him wearing a Babariga with SDP printed on it.
I'm not aware.
You've not seen the video?
I've not seen it. If it's true, fine. I mean, it's very, very right to decide where to pitch a political.
You just heard recently that Akwa Ibom governor said they were leaving Delta State. even
2020,
River State looks like is not there nor there.
It's boiled down to the character of us, the politicians in Nigeria. When PDP was in power, at the time we had 29 states. When APC was being formed, they did not have up to 7 states. So by implication, what happened when PDP was in power is happening to PDP now. If tomorrow PDP is in power, you'll be surprised some of these individuals will return back. So our politics is not yet based on ideology. It's not been ideology campaign. People are looking for soft heavens where I can maximize political fortune. It's not everybody that can stay back like some of us and weather through the storm. However, they'll come back. What I'm telling people is that if they come back this time around, we should not give them the privileges we gave them before. Some left in 2014 and came back and became flag bearers of our party in 2019. It doesn't speak well for those who stay back. So I have a conviction that it is about 2027 election. There are those who feel that the vehicle of PDP might not give them a platform to achieve their political ambition. While I was in Jos over the weekend, we had the North Central Caucus. And at the caucus meeting before the Congress, President Ghana, being one of the only surviving member of the G34, at that meeting, said something. He said PDP at the formation, that they were led by Solomon La, and they emphasized equity, fairness, and justice. That a lot of persons wanted to run for presidency from the north. They appealed to them, pleaded with them, did everything to make sure president go to the south, so as to bring some sense of fairness and equity. He went further, that we are where we are now because we failed in 2023 to zone to the south. Forget what people say. Some people come here and say they wanted to zone. You'll have a zone to southeast. They will have contest. It's a lie from pit of hell. PDP does not zone to a particular geopolitical zone. You zone to north and south. The zones within south will contest for it. The nodes so but to appeal to certain people in southeast that I love you, I will have allowed you. And I'm aware these individuals, led by the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, were at the meeting where zoning was going to be considered, and they vehemently opposed it. This is the first time PDP did not zone presidency. In 2019,
since 1999.
2019, we zoned to the north. That's why all those who were in Port Harcourt to contest primary were from the north. So the last time in 2022, we did not zone, and that is what we find ourselves today. So President Ghana going further, he said, if we want to get back as a party, we should go back to those landmarks that makes us different. We must have the boldness, the sacrifice.
So Honorable, if the likes of Atiku Abubakar and the governor of Bauchi State throw their hat in the ring, does it meet the standard that you are talking about?
No, not at all. There's no business, there's no reason why any of them should have run for 2023 primaries. To have been zoned to the south.
What about 2027?
That is same. That was why in 2019, Buhari was already sitting president. Remember in 2014, a lot of these individuals said Jonathan cannot run in 2015 because he was eating to the time of the north. And they left the party. I went to APC, didn't let the ticket of APC, they supported APC presidential candidate because they believed he represented their philosophy and ideal that he should be in the north.
And that was the fight the likes of El Rufai to fought in the APC to
so
say.
when they came in 2019, PDP still zoned to the north in line with our principles. This is what.
And this perhaps the point Nyesom Wike was making.
Yes,
that he said that there is a just look at part of the thing that he said, and they worry about how the crisis of the PDP may linger further, because Mr. Wike has said he will fight on, and his very good friend Fayoje said when Wike said he's going to fight, to be worried. Now this is what Minister Wike said. He said, and I quote, "In that meeting, I made it clear to the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, that Makinde was the architect of the PDP problems, pointing out to him that non-adherence to the agreements reached was the bane of the party and that he was the chief culprit of this anomaly. At the end of the meeting, we resolved to bury the hatchet and make progress." Those are the words of Minister Wike. And he said, he went further to say, to my chagrin, Seyi Makinde had connived with Peter Mba of Enugu State to orchestrate the summoning of the meeting of so-called Southeast leader to recommend that if Sunday Ude Okoye was not adopted as National Secretary, they will pull out of the PDP. I have since granted an interview to the fact that the resolution of the Southeast leader cannot hold.
It's the same. Just like marriage, there's no perfect marriage. There's no perfect individual. If you are going to marry, you are going with your imperfections, some imperfections. So you must have some degree of compromise for things to work. The PDP presently has no reason to be in crisis. What is the issue of contestation? The secretaryship. Some people believe that because Toanya will run for governorship, he should have resigned. And they claim it is in the rules that he should resign. Aya will believe that it's not in the guideline. He was the secretary of the party. So people even allege that the word must was smuggled into one particular guideline to make it look like he must resign. However, the man came up, he wrote a letter, according to him, to the National Working Committee before going, taking a leave of absence before going. And he alluded that there are other plethora of others who have done the same thing. Let's even assume that those who want him out are correct. But his tenure will expire in November. There's early Congress called in August. So why must you make it an issue now? Why do you need?
But why?
You wrote a letter.
Honorable, why does Mr. Wike always feel betrayed? He feels, in this case, he feels betrayed by Mr. Seyi Makinde.
There's a relation between both of them. He can answer that. But I want to finish.
No, if you betrayed by Atiku too. If you betrayed by Tambuwa. I want to. If you betrayed by, he feels betrayed.
But he has never said anything about Tambuwa till date. He has never.
No, he told me on this program about Tambuwa.
That what?
That he betrayed him.
Okay, but I forgot.
No.
I forgot.
People can go and watch my interview with
I forgot, but I've never watched him say anything publicly. I didn't know he said that here. But let me clear something. Anambra governorship nomination letter to INEC was signed by Deputy Chairman. INEC turned it down. Just about a week plus ago, we had to go underground and beg Anyanwu to sign that letter. Is that not enough signal to us that we are on the side of law? That if you go about doing anything without the rightful person signing those documents, because by our constitution, about our rules, it's only the chairman of the party and the secretary that can communicate to INEC. 2, nobody can call National Working Committee without the secretary signing the letter. So why are we running our survey to this? So as per some administration, we can feel betrayed about what have you. I don't have the details of his interaction with some of such persons. I know some, but I don't have details of the interaction. And it's going to be between both of them. However, on PDP matter, I feel that the statement session we made a few days ago, to me, is to help the party. Sincerely. Because if they had kept quiet and allow us to progress in error, and somebody just wake up one day and slam, and even allow us to nominate candidates and what have you, and when you think you have victory in certain area, people come up, what happens in Sanfara?
What do you make, Honorable, if Mr. Wike says, I will fight on?
I have a conviction.
That statement.
I have a conviction that if those things he fail, because he said something when he had the FCT number monthly this thing. He said, I believe one of the major reasons Anyanwu is being vilified, being attacked, is that they say he's close to me. That we'll be friends as local government chairman from 1999. And I will not abandon my. If you are fighting my friend because it's my friend, I will defend my friend. By implication, it's the issue of secretaryship. So I have a conviction that the Saraki team would have been allowed to do his job. If you observe in all this, Supreme Court judgment came out. Who was interpreting Supreme Court judgment? It's our National Public Secretary, rolling out different perspective about what you think. The legal advisor, let's say, have you heard him say anything? In all this, I feel ideally it should have been referred to the legal advisor. What's your opinion about this? So the last time the governors met and recommend and set up a Saraki committee, I said for the first time, I see a genuine effort to settle this. Unfortunately, events that followed did not, because I believe that the Saraki committee will have reached out to everybody so that we won't have this kind of thing before the NEC meeting. Unfortunately, I think that some people wanted to preempt the committee.
What do you think could happen at the NEC?
At the NEC? And as for the NEC,
just a few days away.
Few days away, if, by my understanding, if the letter calling out for that NEC is not issued by Anyanwu, that NEC will be invalid.
But it doesn't stop members and leaders from meeting.
Definitely, you can't stop people from meeting. It's allowed. But what is the purpose of traveling to Abuja to really meeting? That could be challenger and a decision taken there, because we're supposed to take a decision about.
But the Supreme Court has held that the decision of the party should, by the decision of the party, members of the party should adhere to it and allow the party to decision to be paramount. So in that sense, if the party say we don't want Aya, we want to deal with
there is process to that. We have done it before, where party comes and say we don't want you, go. That does not mean it's legal. The fact that everybody, actually, when we're in power, the president body language does not like you, and so are not to cause trouble. But if somebody goes to court to challenge you, what happens? So when you are in contestation like this, you don't give room. Ideally, if there is no issue and there's pressure and you should go, there won't be any noise. But if he is saying that, I'm going to challenge this, why must you? I am asking the question. We are in May. There is early convention called for August. Their tenure expires in November. Why are we struggling to have a secretary for 3-4 months? Why?
Where do you see this going, and how do you think that this can be resolved?
I believe it will be resolved. I just gave you history of 2015 to 2019, 2019 to 2023. But it's so unfortunate that it's becoming a recurring decimal. It means we have not learned anything. However, in the midst of all this, I must tell you something, that nobody wakes up one day now and begin to agitate that I want to be a madman. Have you ever raised a position for madness and people are jostling to become a madman? No, it is a good thing that people struggle to get. So it means that there's something about that platform. That is why you find people still jostling, because all this began, this crisis, escalation, the secretaryship and what have you, began to escalate when we were about starting congresses in 26 states. 26 states out of 36 is very important. So for those who have ambition for 2027, the control of the party structure in those states is the reason why everybody began. If you remember very well, at the beginning it was Damagu must go. Damagu must go. All of a sudden, Damagu is not about the issue, it's the second that must go. At that time, there were those who lost at a lot, who could not get what they want. And some of them were the architects of some of this crisis here. The idea of taking the party of the people, where certain individuals sit in Abuja and take decisions, is the bane of this party. We return the party to the people. Let congresses come from the people. Let it be participatory. If there's going to be a consensus, in 2022, Kogi had this congress, local government and world congresses. We tried and had about 80 to 90% consensus. We sit down overnight, just like the North Central Congress now. There were people contesting for certain positions. We sat down Friday to 2 a.m. to make sure we reach a compromise. So that has been the practice. If it is not reached, you go to contest, but you do all you can to see if you can leverage of such tendencies. Unfortunately, we allow ego, pride. It must be me. I myself, Nigeria Limited, must be me.
Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, thank you so much. I'm former member of the House of Reps and a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you. And I wish your party the best.
Thank you very
much. At least for the interest of Nigeria. When opposition thrives, it helps our democracy. Thank you so much.
Some of us are staying back.
Thank you so much.